Welcome aboard the Midtown Rider experience, Atlanta's premier excessively narrated tour service. I'll be your guide through this journey along the Beltline, legitimately Atlanta's best urban planning decision, followed closely by their second best idea, Mayor Dickens pulling support for the Eastside Rail to fund another charming streetcar to nowhere on the south side. Today, we'll be traveling through Piedmont Park, enduring the Northeast Trail's celebrated corridor of absolute nothingness, confronting the architectural marvel that is the I-85 underpass, and concluding on the Eastside Trail, where you can observe humans in their natural habitat, perfecting the art of walking directly into oncoming cyclists while maintaining unwavering eye contact with their phones. While the vehicle is in motion, please keep all limbs inside your viewing device. Maintain a healthy skepticism throughout, and remember that the emergency exits are the back button and the unsubscribe option. Thank you for choosing Midtown Rider for your virtual transportation needs, where the destinations are real, but the commentary is completely unnecessary. Yet here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering Piedmont Park, Atlanta's premier destination, meticulously engineered for influencer Americans to capture their carefully rehearsed authenticity. This 185-acre urban sanctuary serves as Atlanta's largest outdoor photography studio, where each tree has been positioned to provide optimal backdrops for documenting one's commitment to being basic. On your right would be Lake Claramere, though it's currently hiding from our cameras, perhaps tired of appearing in thousands of pumpkin spice-infused profile pictures. Notice how each carefully curated patch of grass has been scientifically tested for its ability to elevate basicness to an art form worthy of at least 43 likes. As we proceed at this evening hour, please observe the natural transition from day visitors to the evening crowd of yoga practitioners who have never actually attended a class but invested heavily in the wardrobe. Thank you for your attention, and remember, in Piedmont Park, nature is just a backdrop for your personal brand. Did you know, in 2021, Atlanta officially migrated away from traditional seasons to a simple binary system: pollen season and slightly less pollen season. Today's count registers at what local officials classify as technically breathable, meaning less than 30% of the air consists of plant spunk. Those who purchased our premium tour package will find a complimentary canister of fresh air imported directly from Switzerland under your seat. Please use it wisely, as your next opportunity to inhale non-yellow air will be approximately November. On your right, you'll observe Piedmont Park's tennis courts, featuring Atlanta's most acoustically engineered recreational space. These courts were specifically designed to maximize the echo of grunts and dramatic sighs to create an immersive soundscape of recreational frustration, scientifically proven to enhance athletic performance. The entire facility was constructed at the exact angle needed to ensure the sun is always in exactly one player's eyes, regardless of the time of day. Thank you for your attention as we pass this marvel of athletic engineering. Please note that we are now descending this steep hill at what transportation experts classify as an intentionally glacial pace. This controlled velocity is entirely for your safety and comfort, and has absolutely nothing to do with your driver's completely resolved childhood incident where his bike's brakes spontaneously ceased to function on a similar incline, resulting in what medical professionals described as a catastrophic meeting of face and pavement, followed by the bike itself performing an impromptu gymnastics routine with the driver as the landing mat. Rest assured, our current speed of barely moving is a standard safety protocol and not at all a coping mechanism for lingering trauma that manifests exclusively on downhill gradients. Contrary to popular belief, Atlanta wasn't originally built in a forest. This extensive tree canopy resulted from early Atlantans' desperate battle against heat so intense it was officially classified as worse than standing on the MARTA platform in August. In 1849, the City Council enacted the Thermal Relief Ordinance, requiring each borough to line roads with shade trees or face the punishment of attending August meetings in non-ventilated buildings. Peach trees, being the cheapest available saplings, were planted by the thousands. As these bargain cooling solutions created desirable addresses, developers began naming everything Peachtree, regardless of actual tree presence. A tradition of geographical confusion Atlanta proudly maintains. With the invention of electric air conditioning, most of these trees were promptly cut down to make room for parking lots, solving the original problem while creating exciting new ones that future generations could solve by planting more trees. This period in Atlanta's history resulted in Georgia permanently claiming the nickname the Peach State, despite California growing 3 times as many peaches while modestly refraining from bragging about it on every license plate, welcome sign, and available flat surface. On your right, you'll observe an apiary, part of Atlanta's Bees United to Tackle Hostile Organisms Lurking Everywhere program, or Butthole for short. This facility was specifically designed to provide sanctuary for thousands of honeybees displaced by the city's aggressive Yellow Jacket expansion, particularly around North Avenue. These industrious honeybees were forced to relocate when Georgia Tech's engineering department developed Yellow Jackets with superior nesting capabilities and an unusual affinity for calculus. The Butthole Sanctuary serves as a safe haven where bees can live productive lives without being constantly reminded of their inferior collegiate ranking and enduring endless chants about what a hell of a engineer they are not. City officials maintain that this conservation effort is entirely humanitarian and has nothing to do with tech grads developing suspiciously well-funded research into autonomous aerial venom deployment systems with facial recognition capabilities. We hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into Atlanta's butthole. For those who are hungry, you now have a unique dining opportunity as we pass through this particularly insect-dense section of the Beltline. Simply open your mouth to experience Atlanta's most immersive protein delivery system. No app download required. For our younger passengers, this bug cloud represents an authentic recreation of what driving felt like 30 years ago, before we humans efficiently devastated insect populations through our innovative combination of pesticides, habitat destruction, and climate destabilization. Consider this a living museum exhibit titled, "Things Your Parents Complained About That You'll Never Experience," alongside affordable housing and job security. We recommend inhaling only through your nose for the next 45 seconds, unless you're particularly interested in experiencing the texture of a mosquito lodged in your trachea. Any bugs consumed during this portion of the tour are complimentary and provide approximately 0.3% of your daily protein requirements, though we cannot guarantee their flavor profile or previous dining habits. We are now traversing what transportation engineers classify as Atlanta's interstate turducken. First passing over the Buford Spring Connector's modest 4 lanes before ducking under I-85's impressive 8 lanes of perpetual congestion. This beautiful intersection perfectly showcases Atlanta's time-honored one more lane bro approach to solving traffic problems. A philosophy that has successfully transformed the city from having terrible traffic to having terrible traffic with more lanes. Note how decades of highway expansion have produced the exact same travel times as in 1970, just with a higher construction budget. As you admire the 12 total lanes of gridlock arranged at different elevations, remember that this represents Atlanta's steadfast commitment to doing the same thing repeatedly while expecting different results. A strategy that officially replaced wisdom, justice, moderation as the state motto in 2006. The tunnel itself stands as a monument to what could have been a rail line if we hadn't needed that 13th study on whether people actually want to reach their destinations efficiently. Ladies and gentlemen, your driver will now engage warp drive to spare you from identical scenery. This advanced transportation technology allows us to skip the return journey, without the existential dread of experiencing the same perfectly adequate path twice, but from a slightly less flattering angle. Side effects may include mild disorientation, sudden arrival at more interesting locations, and profound gratitude for not having to hear me describe the same trees with increasingly desperate attempts at originality. Our next stop, the Eastside Trail, where you can observe humans in their natural habitat, judging other humans while pretending not to. If you'll direct your attention across the street, you'll observe what urban development experts call peak Atlanta innovation, yet another storage facility being constructed at this prime intersection of the city's landmark park and Beltline. This architectural masterstroke represents the city's commitment to ensuring that residents have abundant space to store belongings they'll never use again, conveniently located where park visitors can admire its mediocre splendor. Local officials are thrilled with this beautiful addition, as it perfectly complements the area's natural features by providing the exact opposite of natural features. This marks the city's 427th storage facility, addressing Atlanta's most pressing crisis: where to put the extra stuff we buy to fill the void created by living near 426 other storage facilities. Urban planners estimate that by 2030, Atlanta will achieve its long-term goal of having more climate-controlled storage than actual housing, finally allowing residents to provide better living conditions for their forgotten holiday decorations than for themselves. This critical milestone will establish Atlanta as the nation's first city where storage unit square footage officially exceeds park space, library space, and public transit combined. Ahead, you're now observing what naturalists classify as a peloton of leisure cyclists. The term peloton comes from the French word meaning group moving at precisely the speed that makes everyone behind them question their life choices. Notice their relaxed posture and synchronized meandering, evolutionary adaptations that allow them to rapidly respond to predators such as impatient joggers, or to swiftly pursue their natural prey. Posterioris exposus attractivus, more commonly known as booty shorts. These remarkable creatures exhibit the paradoxical ability to be entirely unaware of their surroundings, yet instantly alert to any attempt to overtake them. Should you encounter such a formation, remain calm and observe from a distance, as sudden movements may trigger their defensive mechanism, the erratic swerve and brake maneuver perfected over thousands of Beltline excursions. To your right, you'll observe a popular shopping center offering all the amenities an urban trail user might desire: food, beverages, retail therapy, and restrooms. Accessing these establishments is incredibly straightforward through a convenient system the city calls Darwinian transportation selection. Simply exit the Beltline to your left, merge onto Ponce de Leon Avenue's 5 high-speed lanes, and test your evolutionary fitness against 4-ton vehicles operated by drivers actively texting. This innovative urban design ensures that only the most determined shoppers reach their destination, while simultaneously contributing to Atlanta's healthcare economy. The city's transportation department enthusiastically notes that this arrangement helps maintain their goal of creating wonderful infrastructure and ensuring you can't actually use it to get anywhere practical. For those seeking a less adventurous, but decidedly more expensive shopping experience, we recommend the Ponce City Market, about 1 mile ahead.
All right, here's a room.
On your left, you'll observe what locals historically referred to as Murder Kroger, which has undergone an extensive rebranding effort that included complete demolition, rebuilding, and the addition of what architects call a strategic surveillance deck. It has been requested that the establishment now be known as Voyeur Kroger, Atlanta's premier destination for purchasing groceries, adjacent to people who've paid $7 for the privilege of staring at strangers on the Beltline. This revolutionary concept combines the excitement of overpriced coffee with the satisfaction of judging joggers from a safe, elevated, but still within earshot distance. The expansive porch was specifically designed using advanced sightline engineering to ensure that no passing cyclist or pedestrian escapes scrutiny from the caffeinated observation team. The store proudly maintains its position as Atlanta's only grocery establishment that doubles as a wildlife viewing blind. Except the wildlife is you. And yes, they're absolutely critiquing your outfit right now. Coming up on your right, you'll observe the historic Old Fourth Ward Skate Park, one of Atlanta's most beloved recreational spaces, dedicated to the timeless art of scooting on wheeled boards. This meticulously designed urban amenity provides local youth and adventurous adults with a safe, dedicated environment to practice their ollies, kickflips, and other technical maneuvers that showcases human ingenuity and frailty. City planners demonstrated remarkable foresight when selecting this location, considering essential factors like visibility, community engagement, and the convenient 2-mile radius to both Emory and Grady Hospital's trauma centers. The park showcases Atlanta's efficiency-minded design philosophy. Why build separate facilities for skateboarding and bone setting when one so naturally leads to the other? As you observe these brave souls attempting to defy both physics and their health insurance deductibles, notice the ambulance parking spaces, thoughtfully equipped with loyalty punch cards. Your 10th ride is free. Just kidding, this is America. Did you know that this shaded section of the Beltline was once the site of Atlanta's first wireless telegraph station? In 1901, local electrical enthusiast Clarence Saunders established a small experimental radio transmitter right where we're passing now, connecting with amateur operators as far away as Chattanooga. Saunders used this location to test various antenna designs. The station operated until 1904, when a lightning strike destroyed the equipment. No. Of course you didn't know that because I completely made it up just now. Wait, you've never heard of Clarence Saunders? The inventor of the Piggly Wiggly grocery store and the first self-service shopping experience? The man who revolutionized retail by letting customers actually pick up their own merchandise instead of asking clerks to fetch everything? That's like saying you've never heard of Thomas Edison. Please don't tell me you're one of those people who thinks pushing your own shopping cart was always a thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering what urban planners refer to as actual functioning society, a rare phenomenon where humans interact in shared spaces without being encased in multi-ton, wallet-breaking cages of metal. Please observe this radical experiment where restaurants and businesses are succeeding without dedicating 80% of their property to storing empty vehicles. Notice how people appear to be using their legs for transportation, an evolutionary feature previously thought to be vestigial in Atlanta. Scientists are still studying how this ecosystem manages to thrive despite the absence of 7-lane roads and parking lots larger than the businesses they serve. Conservative estimates suggest that the average visitor to this area experiences approximately 73% more human interaction and 92% fewer road rage incidents than at a typical suburban strip mall. This section of the Beltline serves as a controversial demonstration that people will, in fact, patronize establishments they can reach without performing a vehicular scavenger hunt for parking. A concept so revolutionary that city officials are required to wear special protective eyewear when viewing it. Please note that this should not be considered an endorsement of radical transportation alternatives like walking or trains that go places people want to go. That would be socialism and endanger your freedom. To sit in hours of bumper-to-bumper traffic, day in and day out. We wouldn't want that now, would we? I regret to inform you that we've reached the inevitable conclusion of our journey together. The point where you question whether the time you've spent was educational, entertaining, or just a peculiar form of voluntary auditory captivity. Your driver will now re-engage the warp drive to return you to our starting point, using the same advanced technology that allowed you to skip the boring parts, which, depending on your perspective, may have been the entire tour. Before we accelerate to speeds that make urban planning failures a colorful blur, I'd like to remind you that your tour guide today works exclusively for gratuities and validation. Should you feel that this experience has enriched your life, or at minimum provided a marginally more interesting background noise than your usual podcast about murder, please consider expressing your appreciation through the ancient custom of financial compensation. If your appreciation extends only to the non-monetary realm, the like and subscribe buttons are available for those operating on a budget of good intentions. Remember, each dollar tipped goes directly toward maintaining this tour guide's supply of increasingly desperate jokes and historically suspect anecdotes. Thank you for joining the Midtown Rider experience, where the commentary is unnecessary, but the bills, unfortunately, are not. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact that you're still watching suggests either remarkable dedication or that you've dropped your phone in the toilet and can't reach the stop button. The tour is over. The jokes have left the building. Your persistence is both flattering and mildly concerning. There are better uses for your remaining lifetime, like literally anything. This video will not include bonus content, director's commentary, or post-credit scenes featuring Samuel L. Jackson recruiting you for the Avengers. Please locate the exit button and press it with the same urgency you'd use to decline an unknown number. Go, live, be free. Or don't. I'm a tour guide, not a cop.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.